Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And tonight, this meeting is... Oh, sorry. And tonight, this meeting is being recorded by Westborough TV.
So tonight we have BH+A here. They're the architecture firm that will be designing the community center. So tonight is really a chance for you all, the commission. Hi, Mike. Sorry, we started right on time.
Usually I'm early.
Yeah. For you all to give your input on what you hope to see at the community center. Gretel, Josh, Matt, and I got an opportunity earlier this afternoon to give our thoughts. So this is truly your time to speak with them. Maybe we can do quick introductions. Yeah, that's basically what tonight will be. So it's really kind of, I think they'll go over it a little bit more, but it's kind of, there's no design yet or anything, so really anything conceptually that you hope to see or would like to see is fair game. So I don't know if you guys want to introduce yourselves quickly. You certainly can.
Yeah, sure. I'm Joel Bargman. I'm architect with BH+A. And we sort of have the building divided for the recreation side and the senior side, so we have two architects here tonight as well.
Jeremy Tobin, I think I'm looking at the rec side.
And I'm Nancy Johnson, architect as well, to look at the senior center. And I think we will interact with each other as well as all one space.
Right.
So.
And Alicia's in the audience. She's our owner's project manager.
Michael Wilsker, I'm the official observer.
You can certainly speak too, if you'd like.
Oh, thank you.
Am I supposed to say my name? Colleen Dowd, I'll object to them. Rec committee member.
Katie Welch, also a rec committee member.
Beth Travis, Rec Committee member.
Brian Kane, rec committee member.
And I'm Jen Kroglin, the rec director.
Gretel Guzman-Brock, I'm the admin.
And Brian is also works for the town as our, I call it the fields manager, but parks leads person, I think is the official name. So he kind of serves two roles here. He takes care of all of our outdoor facilities. So, great. I don't know how you want to start or?
Well, the introduction was good. We're here to, this is our first meeting with you, so we're not here to tell you what we're planning to do because we don't know exactly yet. We're here to understand what your vision for the project is and vision for that space that's, wonderful space on the second floor that very unique for a town recreation department to have. I think we'd like to hear your thoughts about how that building gets used, how you think your group can use that space, and then knowing that there's quite a bit of area on that. I don't know, have you all seen the building? And
Yes.
There's that second floor that when it was Boston Sports Center, there was cardio and weight equipment, and that's all gone, and there's that big open space in the middle of the building. What is the vision for programming that space and utilizing that? How would that be used? Even if it's not used today, how do we plan on using that maybe in the future? So that's one question. Two is the use of the swimming pool. Is it up or down? Do you want it or not want it? The seniors were actually quite attracted to the idea of the pool and having an aerobic kind of learn to swim aerobics kind of pool as opposed to a lap pool. But it'd be great to hear your comments on the pool. And then we're really here to understand your initial thoughts so we can begin to incorporate those into designs and rooms. That what we'll be doing in the next month. So we're coming back around the 20th of August with 3 alternatives for how the space can get used. Low cost, middle cost, wish list cost. And so tonight we're trying to hear what your thoughts are so we can put that into those plans that we're working on.
Great. So I was here for the Council on Aging meeting, and the way they kind of just went around each person. So
Yeah.
however you want to,
Okay,
whatever you think.
all right.
Um,
I'll start. I just saw it the other day, and I was blown away, honestly. that is amazing, wonderful space. And it's bright and it's inviting, I think. I think, obviously it needs some, renovations, but the space itself is really wonderful. And I loved the basketball court. I think there's so many things that are already there that you can tell would be, still used. The basketball court. I think the pool is a real plus. I think having lessons there or swim days for kids, maybe even after school stuff, I think would be a real great thing. As far as, I thought of mostly active sports in there. Of course, I'm sure we would love a meeting room. I'm sure we would love a meeting room where we can hold meetings, or there's a place for kids to just hang out and chat. I thought that would be, because I would be hoping that we would have teens there as well. I think it would be a great space. They can walk from the high school, middle school, and have things in the afternoon for them. There's so many programs. We could do art programs. We could do all kinds of teaching programs where kids could learn a skill or a hobby. We could have all kinds of little club kind of things. So many things went through my mind, and we would definitely want also a small meeting place in case we had smaller groups that needed to meet. So that was basically my ideas. I threw it out to my grandsons, who are 6 and 10, and they want an arcade. They want golf. They want hockey. They wanted, I can't remember the last thing, but it was all like stuff that probably wasn't going to happen in that space. But they thought they're excited. They want to see it, and I can't wait to show it to them.
Without getting super specific, I think one of the things that I think the community can really benefit from is a space that they could reserve or check out for meetings. So I'm a Girl Scout troop leader. It's really hard to find space in
I
town
bet.
to have those meetings. And the places where we go to are very accommodating and are always willing to have us. But, I think about like all of the organizations in town volunteer-wise, like they need to have meetings, the Little League, the travel basketball, soccer, like the ability to have space that can be like meeting room / a sign-up night or whatever it is, but to have space, to Beth's point, for meetings, and probably enough space that could accommodate like 15 kids and 2 to 3 adults with like tables and to do an activity. I would say that's generally like the size of a Girl Scout meeting at the max.
I'm looking at it from the perspective of how the seniors are going to blend with the youth. I used to own an elder care agency, and we had worked with the high school about having a course where one of the students would go to one of the facilities, the Willows or the nursing home, and participate with taking on a mentor or just an older person, because older people love to feel needed. And it wasn't a very popular program, unfortunately. I think now the way this is going to get set up is that it'll give the kids a great perspective on what the lives are for the elderly and what the elderly will have for the kids, just to put them in that same area. I think the exercise room is a great place. That's one place. The pool. Just ways to maybe create programs where they can work together, do arts and crafts together. And there's just so much opportunity for the youth of this town to really turn and really appreciate the people that have been here and done so much for the town and for the public in general. So
One question I would have about the pool is the condition of it. You know, I know pools structurally or whatnot can sometimes be a nightmare, so I would certainly want to see that that question is answered, the longevity of it, you know, given that it's up on a second floor and all the configuration that it has. That being said, I think a pool certainly offers a lot for both, you know, seniors having aerobics. You would also be able to have, you know, classes for kids. Certainly, we've had a tremendous difficulty in getting lifeguards the past few years, in being able to offer special classes, really promoting that and having somebody, you know, come in and be able to provide those classes. In addition, you have the obvious rec area, well, I mean, the gym, and then you have, like, you know, probably what could be easily 2 exercise areas. You know, I wonder, and I don't know, you know, the space downstairs is so large, but you could also, it could be a way to integrate, you know, some of the seniors, so to speak, different ages of different kind of classes going on there during the day that they would be interested in. So you might have part of the space be generated for, you know, their type of exercise activities, you know, more, it might be a little bit more yoga or different kind of, you know, people do Tai Chi, sometimes line dance, different things along that line. The meeting rooms, I think, is a very good idea. There's no doubt that people around town having access to that and being able to have additional space to be able to conduct those meetings. It seems like you could have some type of multi-purpose type room. It's a large space, and what that could be, well, it would have a variety of things, of special, you know, of people having a special activity for the younger kids, or, you know, when you have magicians, or, you know, some kind of shows, things like that, you know, could be going on. So a kind of space that would be eclectic, that a variety of people and a variety of activities could be put to use in that space.
Yeah, I agree with all the stuff with the meeting rooms and having areas to do that. I mean, I think we're all on board with that. The gym is the gym, but I don't foresee like wanting to like do too much with that open space. I think it should remain fairly open. That way it gives us the ability, like, whether we can put in some type of partitions. That way we can, you know, it can be multiple use, whether we need to use, like you said, as a dance floor, as, you know, we're gonna play cornhole today, we're gonna do relay races. I think that room really needs to stay as big as it can, and potentially have the ability to split it, or however we need to do that. That way we can do multiple activities up there if there's need for it. I'd also like to talk to some of our youth sports of some of the needs they need for, like, off-season stuff. Being a baseball, softball guy, like, is there ability to put a batting cage in there? Is there ability to put some type of wall where lacrosse can, or soccer can, you know, throw and whatever off of it? I don't know how much you see of that, but that's just what I see. I think you start getting the kids that are big into sports down there, it's gonna bring everybody else in. And as far as the senior center, just give them somewhere to dance and have fun. Because I go to the senior center every once in a while, because I work for the town, and I love watching them dancing. So much fun. So that's basically all I have.
Ping pong tables and
Yeah,
and
billiard
billiards
tables,
and-
ping pong, all that fun stuff.
Air hockey.
Arcade.
One of the things about the building is it's 30,000 square foot roughly per floor, and the senior center program, for example, is not nearly that big, so there's somewhere around 11,000 square feet of extra space on that ground floor, a lot of which doesn't have windows.
Right.
So the ground floor is also taller than the second floor.
Yep.
So one of the things we were thinking of is just what you mentioned is that if the senior center is up front and the back is that windowless extra space, that would be perfect for a batting cage. The columns are far enough apart that you could actually put a little turf field down and you could have a 5-on-5 youth
Yeah.
soccer field, or you could, Jeremy did a test today, you could fit 6 pickleball courts
Yeah,
in
I was
that
just gonna
ground
say-
floor.
I was just gonna mention
I was
somehow
gonna say
again.
that.
They're
And,
filled,
uh,
they're gonna
It's
be
taken
filled with a
over.
waiting list.
How about miniature golf too?
Miniature
Yeah.
golf simulators.
Golf simulator,
Right,
or
okay.
just a driving range type.
I think
type
Matt was
thing.
interested in that, wasn't he?
We talked, that came up at our staff meeting, that, not even just a golf, so like a sports simulator, so golf,
Yeah.
baseball, a bunch of different
Yeah.
football,
I
so.
mean, the guy in Westborough actually owns hit tracks, you know what I mean? Like, could we get something like that? It's a little extreme, but, you know.
That's true, that back space though with the taller ceilings and whatnot is conducive to those indoor type of sports activities.
I'm sorry, I just got an emergency ping, but I took care of it. Who, the person in Westborough owns what program?
Hit tracks.
Oh,
It's-
Fit Tracks.
Yeah, so the guy that invented hit tracks is actually, is he still in town, Colleen? Yeah, he's still in town. So he's right here, like, yeah, I don't know if it's something that we could tap him to do something like that as a, I mean, like I said, that's maybe high-level wish list stuff, but. I
But
mean,
that's why we're here too.
If we
It's-
have the space for it, we can do it. I mean, I've been at hit tracks where kids are playing out here, they're playing kids in California in baseball. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just a really neat system once you get into it. And I know that golf can be very similar. I could play golf with my dad down in Florida if he went to a simulator, you know, and it's the same thing and it hooks up. It's pretty neat. I know it's high-end stuff, but.
Yeah, the discussion had come, you know, we talked a little bit about this morning, the opportunity to have programming for toddlers and younger kids that you can't do now because you don't have the space for them. And then the topic of the school and the the senior high school kids. And I was just wondering how much interest the town might have into making, not just accommodating those kids, but to carving out a room that's like a teen center kind of a space where it's for them and it's designed with completely different,
So just a bunch of cell phone jacks everywhere.
and it's got concrete floors and big soft
Yeah.
Starbucks couches. And
Starbucks, yeah.
it's a space that, we'd work with the high school kids to design it more about their, so we've done that in Andover. In North Andover, we've designed one with middle school in mind. And in other communities, we have spaces that are, like if, we talked about earlier, if the mom or dad wants to go do a 45-minute fitness program, they can leave their kid in a play space that's
Mhm.
Right.
intriguing and exciting. It's not just a white box, but it's
Yep.
designed. So part of what I was wondering is, do we take some of that space? The other space that's probably bigger than you need is the locker rooms are huge. And even if we have a pool, you don't need,
That much
they're
space.
designed for a huge Boston sports club.
I mean, I definitely agree, like, there should be some very, if there's a need for specifics things, we should cordon that off. I look at that big space and I think of all the things that we could potentially do in there. I mean, I'd hate to box us out of that space, you know what I mean? Like start putting up walls and next thing you know, you just got a bunch of rooms.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking of doing that, but I'm also thinking if it's too generic and too open, then no one's gonna really
Yeah.
like it. We have to
Yes,
make
it won't have
it,
an identity.
yeah, we have to give it an identity, yeah.
I mean, so I spent a lot of time when my kids were little at Northborough because it's close by and they had tons of programming. They have a very old gym, but it can accommodate youth programs up through adults, and then a building with rooms. And even thinking about one of the things that we did there was a lot of basic cooking classes for little kids, but it was really great. So if you're putting a kitchen in the senior center, right, could you have something down there that, it just allows for multi-generation or, you know, age use.
Yeah,
I agree. There should be like that crossover where it's not.
The senior
youth,
center's kitchen,
seniors.
yeah.
Like, there's gotta be a commingling in there somewhere, so if rec needs the space for the kitchen, then it should be given, and they get the pool, and,
Yeah.
you know, if they need to come upstairs for something, I agree with that. If, you know, it's gotta be something that works for the whole town, not just a portion of the town,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, one of the, to me, the beauties of the space is, like you said, the gym's there and it's done. There's 2 rooms in the back that one was, I think, a group exercise room and one was a equipment room, but they have nice floors and they have glass and they're transparent. So there are 3 exercise rooms up there. I was wondering what you guys might think about the spin room that was in the corner. It's only 600 square feet. It's not very big. It's that curved room right before you get to the gym.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's hot. I never liked it.
Pardon me?
My wife loves it.
I
She
said,
loved it.
I never liked being in there when I did spin. It was always too hot. I was looking for, where's that fan or where's, you know, something. But it offers a space that could be created
Sure.
into
I
something.
mean, there are no windows there. I was
No.
wondering if it had, I couldn't really think if it had a value, and I didn't think you'd probably want a dedicated spin room for recreation.
No.
Maybe you do, I don't.
Is there room for another basketball court?
There actually is room. I was thinking of that myself. The problem is I guess we could look at doing it on the first floor. The second floor doesn't have as high a ceiling, so where the gym is now, the ceiling of the gym pokes through the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
And the gym is in a perfect location because it's above the loading dock,
Noise.
so the basketball hoops are not bounces. If we put another basketball court upstairs, might not be the greatest acoustically, but that was the other thing, and maybe we could get a couple half courts or something on the first floor. There are columns on the first floor, so it's not perfect, but you could certainly get some youth courts in there.
Be like being at the Forbes gym.
Get those new basketballs that don't make any noise.
Are there gonna be separate entrances for the senior center and for the rec center? Or are they all gonna be going through and then feeding?
Yes and yes. We're going to do 3 schemes, and we'll study each one of those options to see really how it works the best. Because if you have, you know, right now, it's a long walk from the senior center entry to where the elevator is to go upstairs, so it may make sense to consolidate the entries down at that end of the building so the seniors don't have to walk half a block to get to the elevator. So our assignment is to do 3 alternatives, and that's why I said yes and yes. The 2 that you mentioned will be studied, and then you'll be able to evaluate it better.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that they should have separate entrances. You know, kids have their thing, you know, the seniors have theirs, they feel like this is their
They have different
area.
hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bouncing only becomes a problem when the seniors are there and the bouncing is there, right?
Yeah.
If it's 2 different times, it's not as important.
Yep. Well, we talked about some of the other programming that might go in. I think you know, other than fitness program, you know, cultural or, I think STEM was mentioned earlier, and
Yeah, some of our, educational classes like STEM, chess, art.
That's
Josh
the-
earlier I liked the way he described it. It was kind of a room that's like, not the biggest deal if you make a mess in it. So like art and, I don't know, yeah, like woodworking or, things with lots of glitter or something. Just a place for that, like even a music room, something to do that. But then also having a space to, we run a babysitting class, just space for those activities that are non-sports related.
Right.
Yeah, those STEM classes that you did, I was involved in a couple of years ago, and they were great.
Yep.
They were great.
But would we incorporate like stuff to do that, like I know we talked about meeting rooms, and we have like multiple meeting rooms, and one of them is the room that you can do art in, you know what I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's, as much as you can do multifunctional rooms is what we wanna do. We
Yeah.
don't wanna have like a room that's all Teflon and nothing sticks to it, and it's, you know, weird to, you know, I don't know, I was looking at, you know, I know we get a ton of space, but we start dedicating rooms for each space, we're gonna run out.
Yeah. So did you mention music in that list? Because that's came up in the senior meeting as well, that they have someone that does classes, but there's also a desire to have music programming. And that would be an interest. And that's the kind of room that needs a little bit more specific design to it
Right.
for acoustics but, you know, some of the other things can be multi-use, yeah.
I think we've always said too, like right now, we use the senior center on a Thursday night when no one's there. So I think the idea would be that, like, yeah, their music room, if we had a night music class, we could go use their music room. Just kind of have that same partnership that we do now.
It's all about scheduling.
And just going back to the meeting room, not because I didn't want it to come off that our meeting with them was a secret, but we had talked about for our office, having like an office suite for Josh Gretel and I, and eventually a new program coordinator, but then also having like kind of a meeting room for us, for staff meetings, for,
Right.
you know, when kids are coming in to fill out their summer hire paperwork, people that fill out financial aid. So I think this meeting space that, you know, obviously maybe one of the multi-purpose rooms could serve, but I think that this kind of, that meeting room that we were sort of envisioning would be perfect for like a field. I brought up our fields meeting in the spring, just having kind of a formal space to sit and discuss is something that we brought up as well. So while we have these multi-purpose rooms, so we could have STEM going on, but also the fields meeting is going on in this room over here in this meeting room. That's more set up for meetings, like a nice conference table, nicer chairs, things like that. Not sitting in chairs that are made for 5-year-olds, but
We got chairs like that.
yeah, fancy ones.
Now, I'm assuming there's gonna be a kitchen in the senior center, correct? Is there any talk about having a kitchen in the rec area? Like a vending area or a place where the kids can go bring their lunch and hang out there? Is there any discussion about that?
We haven't talked about it yet, yeah.
You'd probably want some type of kitchenette or something for the staff.
Well, we were saying like a break room for the staff,
Yeah.
almost like room 207 across the way is sort of is a meeting room, but they also have a small sink in there and a refrigerator. So I don't think we need anything expansive for our staff, but
But no vending machines for the kids if they wanna,
I don't know, we hadn't really thought about that, but I mean, it's
That's
definitely
something
something we
like-
could consider for
Throw
sure.
that down into the lobby or something like that,
Yeah.
too. Is there like a little extra space in the lobby? You might be able
Yeah.
to put a couple vending machines if you wanted it.
yeah, I mean, if the kids are gonna be participating in some kind of activity like basketball or something, they're gonna probably want, you know, a Gatorade or water or something of that sort. I'm assuming also there's gonna be plenty of water
Those new water stations.
stations, they can put their water, their bottle in.
Things aren't cheap.
Yeah, just another thing we've been thinking about in the rec department too is that we plan to, you know, kind of rent some of the spaces out for birthday parties. So having spaces like that, maybe doing, kind of to your point, Brian, of keeping as much open space as we can. You know, yard sales, collectible fairs, craft fairs, things like
Right.
that. You know, maybe having some speakers come in, or, you know, an indoor movie night. We used to do parents' night out, but like I was saying earlier, we did it in the Fails cafeteria. Kids are sitting on the floor, we're trying to watch a movie, where if we had more of a comfortable space to hold that, it might be better. So we shared some of that, the same kind of concern with just kind of keeping some open space with maybe some removable walls, so that we
Yeah.
can, if we needed a space for 100, we could have it, but if we wanted to kind of make it into a more
Divide it
intimate
up a
space,
little
we
bit.
could, so.
Yeah, I think in determining how many meeting rooms, dedicated type of, well, I'll call them meeting or all-purpose rooms. And dividing up, you know, the open space in with the concept that you can make it more intimate, or that for, you know, for a larger group, that you can open that up.
Sort of had a lot of deliberation about this on Sudbury Community Center, and when we finished, the recreation side had 2 dedicated program rooms, and the seniors had 3. They can share them at certain, and they have a multi-purpose room in the middle of the building that
Right.
they share, and other things that they share, but the sharing of program rooms between the departments works to an extent, but it doesn't always work. So when you have summer programs and school vacation week and other, like Christmas and the President's Week and all that, then the kids are at the rec center and the seniors are at the senior center, and you can't really share the programs. And we learned in Chatham, where we tried to share those programs, that the summer programs are so vibrant that the kids' summer programming takes over the program spaces, and then the seniors didn't have access to it. So we've ended up not sharing all of those spaces,
Right.
but I think giving you guys a couple dedicated and the seniors a couple dedicated.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
like, put a couple of those down in the senior center too,
Yeah.
meeting spaces or
Is-
whatever.
Is this space considered really large compared to those towns you've mentioned, Chatham? and-
I'm sorry, is what?
Is this space that you're gonna be developing much bigger or the same kind of size as the other
Well,
towns?
It's
facilities you've
comparable to Sudbury. Sudbury's a little bit small. Sudbury's 48,000 square feet, and but you have 60,000, but you don't necessarily have to use all of it.
Right.
But what we're finding is the space that the seniors want is probably around 15,000 square feet, in that range, and that's right on average with what we would have expected for 20,000, 21,000 people communities. So it's not big. The recreation space is just, it is what it is because it's already built out. You know, you're not going to tear part of it down because it's.
No, I was
too
just
big.
curious.
No, I know.
Because you mentioned other towns and then mentioned,
Yeah.
they have this room, they have that room, okay.
Yeah,
Could we accommodate those rooms and, that,
yeah.
based on that size?
But
Thank you.
I think you're sort of on the right track.
You're also gonna need a space to like potentially store a lot of stuff. I mean, you're gonna need some serious storage if you're gonna be putting all these different programs on. You're gonna have to put stuff somewhere. So that's gotta be considered, I mean.
Of course, it should.
And
Yeah,
again,
we came back some up this
yeah,
afternoon too.
and and how much stuff can you share with rec in the senior center? Like if I don't know if they do cornhole, like, and you don't need. I'm just trying to spitball, like what you can share, what you can't, but you're gonna need storage for. You're gonna need a lot of storage.
To share, you need storage.
Yeah.
I think the main room that you mentioned, the big multi-purpose room that's gonna serve 150 plus or minus people, that's definitely something that can be shared because,
Yep.
they're not gonna use that after 3 PM, and
Yeah.
that's when you're gonna wanna start using it.
We got to take them down to our basement when we have all of our stuff. They saw our offices. But yeah, for sure, storage. And I heard that too as well in the Council on Aging meeting. They were also talking about storage, so I'm sure that'll be incorporated.
Would it be in our interest to go see what Sudbury looks like? And,
We could
is that
arrange-
possible that we
We
could
could
go
arrange
do
a
that?
tour of that,
Because I would like to see something that
Yeah,
is,
you're going off a blank slate in your head.
yeah. That big, huge
Yeah.
room, I
I
was
know.
trying to think of how we would, and I couldn't figure it out. It was just massive.
I mean, it's a little bit different program. They did inherit a gym, a swimming pool as part of the program that was there, and it's a bigger pool than what you have, but it's still interesting to see from that perspective. If you're interested in doing it, we could arrange a tour. Sudbury's not that far from here.
Right. Yeah, I think it would help me, for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm. Sure.
Have you been there, Jen?
No, not that, I've been to the old one, the one that was it was in a
It's-
school, right?
They tore it down. And,
Oh,
well, the
okay.
pool stayed,
Okay.
but everything else got torn down. It was a 1950s
Hmm.
temporary school building that was now 74 years
Yeah.
old.
Well, I remember when I went, I was jealous of that space. I was like, this is perfect. Like, but I'm sure what they have now is a lot better, but compared to what we had, which was nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we could do that. We'll just have to find a time that works and try to go. Yeah. And does the rec department is in there?
Yeah.
So I could even kind of
It's-
reach out to
yeah,
them and
Dennis.
see. Okay.
Do you know him?
I don't know if I know him. Maybe if I saw him. Better faces.
It'd be great if
I
you
can-
connect with us, because it's helpful for us to hear what you say when you walk through it. It's helpful for us
Sure.
to hear what they say, because I know Nancy and Jeremy went on the tours with the seniors, and it was
Oh, okay.
very helpful.
Cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, it's summer. I don't need to keep you longer than if you expressed the ideas. We can let folks go.
And just my plug for the survey. Hopefully you all saw the
Yes.
survey that went out. Fill it out. Tell your friends to fill it out. And there are also 3 opportunities for public input sessions. I know you guys had your chance to share here, but you're obviously welcome to come to those. One is dedicated more for seniors. It'll be held at the senior center. Then there's another one for the general public. And then there's one that's going to be by Zoom. So if you can't make it, and it's a little bit later, that Zoom one is, I think, 7 o'clock. So there's a flyer on the town's website. We've tried to post it everywhere, but just we really want as much community input as possible. So please try to encourage people
Yeah,
to
I'd
attend
like-
and
I'd like to hear what other people.
yeah, because I think a lot of times people kind of talk on social media, but like this is truly people's chance to be heard, and so
Good.
Great.
thank you guys
Well,
so
thank
much.
you.
You've
It's
had a
nice
long
to
day.
meet you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.
Good luck in your endeavor. We
it
look
was nice to
forward
meet you
the
all.
product.
Yeah. Well, thank you for
products,
coming.
the
Appreciate
3
it.
options.
Right. And then Beth, you can just adjourn the meeting. And
Okay, we can, the meeting is adjourned.
I'll make a
motion.
motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I second that.
And then I
All in
think
favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks,
The
everyone.
meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Westborough TV, we're done.